When you think of roads, you think of paved blacktop with 2 lanes and shoulder markers. Some roads are beaten and battered by the elements, while others are smooth and pristine, depending on where you're from. No matter the circumstances, there is always a view to be seen traveling on any road. There are certain roads, however, that are just plain dangerous and shouldn't even be considered usable. Don't believe us? Well, stick around because in this video we're going to cover the top 10 most dangerous roads. Number 10. Kokoma Highway, Russia. Known formally as the Road of Bones, the Kokoma Highway holds a dark past. Built during the Stalin era of the USSR, the 1,079-mile road was constructed to connect Magadan to Yakutsk. Yakutsk is very isolated from the outside world and holds the record for the coldest temperature recorded outside of Antarctica. The road was built by political prisoners who were exiled to the region's gulags during the 1930s through 1950s. Nicknamed the Road of Bones, and for good reason, as it contains the bodies of hundreds of thousands of prisoners who were executed for not working hard enough during the project. Lazy individuals will be shot dead and buried in the foundation material for the road. It's said that for every 1 meter of road, the cost is 1 life. Unforgiving, the road has almost no paved pieces and is treacherous throughout. You can find long forest crossings, mountain passes, deserts, and about anything else you could imagine. After a period of rain, there are huge sections of road that become impassable and can hold up traffic for 100 kilometers. With 10 months of winter per year, the road is extremely dangerous with ice, brutally cold temperatures, heavy snow, and terrible visibility. A breakdown on this road could potentially cost you your life. Number 9. Atlantic Ocean Road, Norway. Located on the Norwegian coastline, the Atlantic Ocean Road is one of the most breathtaking and nerve-wracking drives in the world. Starting in August of 1983, construction would take 6 years to complete. Stretching a little over 5 miles in length, the road features curvy and roller coaster-like designs and keeps drivers just above the violent crashes of waves. It contains 8 bridges that connect the road from island to island. It is common during storms for waves to crash into the bridges and onto the pavement, scaring and intimidating passerbys. The Atlantic Ocean Road is Norway's most popular tourist attraction, although it was originally designed to be a railroad. Weather here can quickly change from sunny and clear to heavy rain or snow. It is advised to not travel the road during storms due to the sheer openness of the road, which could lead to theoretical accidents. Number 8. Skipper's Canyon Road, New Zealand. Located southwest of New Zealand's southern island, is known as one of the most scenic drives along one of the most frightening. Skipper's Canyon Road is a very narrow pass about 17 miles long and is cut from a sheer cliff face. Constructed between 1883 and 1890 during the Australian Gold Rush, miners who built the road carved it out of the mountain with gunpowder and hand tools and couldn't have cared less about the aesthetics. This road is very crude, narrow, and if you were to encounter a vehicle during the drive, one of you would have to back up until you could find an area with enough room to pass. On one side lies sheer drop-offs that span several hundred meters down, while the other side contains vertical walls with loose material that are prone to falling. The road features numerous steep inclines and hairpin turns, where mistakes cannot be made. It's so dangerous that rental vehicle companies will not honor the insurance placed on the vehicle if driven here. Number 7. Stelvio Pass, Italy. One of the highest mountain roads in Europe, Stelvio Pass soars at an elevation of over 9,000 feet above sea level. Located in the Ortler Alps in Italy between Stilfs and Bormio, the road itself is a marvel of engineering. This astonishing work of brilliance was originally constructed in 1820 to 1825 by the Austrian Empire and served as a way to connect the former province of Austria-Lombardia to the rest of Austria. Over the years, the road has had very few changes, though it lost its strategic importance. With 60 hairpin turns and an elevation gain to 9,000 feet, it's strongly advised that the persons with the most driving experience take control of the vehicle. Local drivers are described by tourists as homicidal, as they speed up the mountain, passing people on stretches of the road which are narrow. With the sheer drops thousands of feet in distance, only a small stone retaining wall is present to prevent a severe catastrophe. Several tight tunnels are present during the ascent, and it's common for traffic jams to occur there. It has gotten so bad that they put lights on each side of the tunnels as to allow traffic to flow more easily. It's advised that when traveling in Europe that you carry an EHIC at all times, which will give you the same medical care as citizens without extra charges. Number 6. Dalton Highway, Alaska, USA. Known as the loneliest road on Earth, Dalton Highway is a 414-mile, 2-lane, gravel road that ventures through the very deepest isolation of the final American frontier. Built in 1974 as a supply road to the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline, it would be named in honor of the head engineer overseeing the road's construction, James Dalton. Only 3 towns reside along the route, those being Coldfoot at mile marker 175, Wiseman at 188, and Deadhorse at 414, which marks the end of the line. Dalton Highway reaches its most treacherous at the Brooks Range, where road grades incline to 16% and elevation increases to over 4,700 feet above sea level. All vehicles must take extreme caution, and headlights are required to be on at all times. Any vehicle traveling the highway must pull over for tractor-trailers, as they are the main suppliers to the isolated towns. It's strongly advised to bring survival gear when you travel Dalton Highway, as it has some of the most extreme cold weather conditions in the world. Many lives have been claimed by the highway through accidents such as rollovers and collisions. Some people have even froze to death from unprepared breakdowns. 3,700 large trucks travel the road each month, and when conditions shut down the road, daily economic losses total more than $1 million. Driving Dalton Highway, having largely been built on permafrost, is unpredictable. With avalanches being a constant threat and potholes the size of craters, drivers must be on their toes constantly to ensure the safety of their vehicles and themselves. Number 5. Zojiwa, India. Located in the Kargil district of Ladakh, Zojiwa is one of the world's most treacherous and death-defying roads. Elevating to over 11,550 feet above sea level, this Himalayan mountain pass is not a good place for your leisurely Sunday drive. At 25.8 kilometers long, Zojiwa takes all 3 nerve-wracking hours to drive through, and that's if nothing goes wrong during the drive. Normal-sized cars find it difficult to navigate the narrow unpaved road, while large trucks have a difficulty uniquely their own. Frequently being closed due to avalanches, heavy mud, washouts, and high winds, this road gives zero worries about your safety. With no guardrails or barricades, nothing is between you and thousands of feet of sheer drop-off. The government of India in 2018 approved of a project to create a tunnel that goes directly through the mountain, which will cut the travel time from 3 hours to 15 minutes, saving millions of dollars in fuel and countless lives lost each year. Number 4. North Youngest Road. Nicknamed Death Road, the North Youngest Road is a deadly path through the Bolivian mountain region. This narrow road climbs an elevation for 43 miles through the jungle-covered mountains to 15,250 feet in a serpentine of hairpin turns and steep inclines. With humid climates and irregular rainfall, the road is prone to landslides, washouts, and rockfall. Drivers on the descent are forced to stay on the outside edge to allow ascending drivers to see them before accidents occur. Due to high humidity, the road is usually covered by a thick layer of fog, making driving conditions all the more dangerous. North Youngest Road is a notorious killer and claims hundreds of lives each year from accidental vehicle cliff plunges. It's said to be, however, that the road no longer has to be traveled, as another road was built in favor of safety, though many people still brave the pass without fear. Number 3. Fairy Meadows Road, Pakistan. Deadly and unforgiving, this gravel road is completely unmaintained. Having no guardrails to protect you, this road gets so narrow at the top that you cannot continue with vehicles, so a hike or bike ride to the top is the only option. Starting from the infamous Karakoram Highway, Fairy Meadows Road is a 10-mile gauntlet of steep, unstable gravel that eventually ends at the town of Tato, near Fairy Meadow. Many people never get to see the amazing views it has to offer due to the sheer risk it takes to get there. The most difficult section is a 6-mile stretch where the road is no bigger than a standard Jeep Wrangler, and a 2,000-foot drop to ragged rocks and boulders is inches away. Closed in the winter due to heavy snowfall avalanches and huge ice patches, the best time to visit this infamous road is during the summer months of June and July. The end of the road is the starting point for hikers who want to climb the 9th highest mountain in the world, Nanga Parbat. An unforgettable Himalayan experience, those brave enough to drive Fairy Meadows Road and survive will always have something to boast about. Number 2. Los Caracoles, Chile, Argentina. Sharing more than 5,000 miles of border, Chile and Argentina both have plenty of real estate bordering the Andes Mountains. Los Caracoles is very unique and climbs an elevation to over 10,000 feet above sea level. The Argentina side of the road has a gentle ascent going up through the rugged mountain terrain until reaching the tunnel entrance. Patience and skill are necessary to make it up the mountain. Although traffic can be slow and congested, the thin air combined with the amazing scenery will have you full of adrenaline and excitement. The Chilean side of the road is terribly difficult to navigate and has some of the most winding roads in the world. With intense traffic and slow-moving heavy vehicles, accidents are a daily impedance. Dozens of careless drivers have plummeted to their deaths while being too confident. Vehicles can potentially be required to use chains or have snow tires on throughout the year, as freak storms with heavy snowfall aren't so rare at this elevation. Number 1. Karakoram Highway, Pakistan, China. The highest paved road in the world, running from western China to Pakistan, is a once-in-a-lifetime road trip for adventure lovers. Beginning in 1959 and opened to the public in 1986 after 27 years of construction, the two-way road stretching 810 miles long runs through Kashmir, Pakistan and Kashgar, China. Due to landslides and falls, 810 Pakistani and 81 Chinese workers have lost their lives building this roadway. Karakoram Highway remains open year-round except for Kunjarab Pass. At an elevation of 15,397 feet, the heavy snow only allows this pass to be open from May 1st to December 31st. Monsoon season during the summer can cause rockfalls and landslides that shut the highway down for hours or more. With hairpin turns and sheer drop-offs, it's suggested you drive with extreme caution. Cars aren't suggested to take the highway, as only 4x4 capable vehicles are recommended to take on the challenge. Without barriers blocking the cliff edges, the smallest driver mistake can lead to a tragedy.